Welcome back, everyone.
What's poppin', y'all?
To the next episode of Two Bros and a Beard. I am Assad.
The next episode? Whatever. I'm
The
Ibrahim.
Iterative episode from the last.
The current episode.
The current episode. I mean, it might not be the current for someone in the future.
The episode that you are currently listening to. Ooh.
Yes, the episode you are currently listening to.
Welcome back to the episode you're currently listening to. How y'all doing?
That's heat. My name is Assad.
My name is Ibrahim.
And yeah, hope everybody's doing great. Having a good day.
Welcome back.
Today, I think on my hand, I can count 6 times that I have seen Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers.
Like just today?
Just today.
Just today.
Online posts, like friends, trailers, other YouTube videos, ads. It's crazy, man. It's kind of out of control how bad it's getting out there.
Yeah, because you don't want to know anything about this movie, so it's like,
especially this movie being a Spider-Man movie, I kind of want to go in nice and.
But I thought like you should watch the trailer so you know what you're getting into whenever you go into the movie.
Oh, I mean that's for the layperson, I guess, but I already know. Just knowing like the MCU and stuff, so I don't need to get that filler.
But like, for example, Infinity Wars, they released a trailer, but none of us knew any of like the twists and turns about it. So it's not like you're gonna know what happens in the movie.
Well, I hope there's still twists and turns, but usually for the Spider-Man trailers and the MCU, usually for MCU stuff in general, they tend to tell you like the ending. Or like what the actual story, like that was one of the big problems with Black Panther. People were like, we watched the trailer and we didn't need to watch the movie because I knew everything that was going to happen from beginning to end. Like it was unpredictable. It was so predictable.
Bro, movies nowadays are just predictable, but
no, that is true. You know, they're making a Master Chief, or they're making a Halo show.
Oh God.
On Paramount Plus. Remember a couple weeks ago, guys, when we were talking about remakes and reboots, and we were like, dude, it would be so bad if they just took a bunch of like really good things that we liked and ruined them.
Made video games into movies?
And not only are they trying to make a Master Chief show again, but they also put Spider-Man into Fortnite. Which is literally what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So
now we just need Spider-Man and Valorant like we were talking about.
Oh, please.
The new skin is just like a Spider-Man skin.
Okay.
And then like, you know how like you can level up and it'll change. No, you change from like Spider-Man to like the and what was it called? The animated one. How there's like the different Spider-Mans.
Oh,
you can get like the Gwen Stacy one. You can get like Oink Parker, whatever his name was. All those little like those are your upgraded skins. Yeah,
that would be so. I mean,
that'd
unfortunately,
be smart,
I would buy that.
Yeah, that's smart.
I would buy that. I would not even hesitate.
Hey, Riot Games, hit me up. I got an idea for the new Spider-Man movie. Quick.
Yeah, I think the Master Chief show, I keep saying the Halo show, it'll be good. I'm not necessarily hating on that. I'm just hating on the idea that they're making a show for a video game after a video game came out because of the success of the video game, and
but they didn't know that the video game was going to succeed.
Oh, they knew the video game was going to succeed.
Which one? The new one they just came out with?
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, they knew this was going to be good.
When's the show coming out?
The show comes out next year, mid-year, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember the date.
I think they probably started recording this movie or whatever you want to call it, the show, way before they released the movie. Oh, what? Back up. They started making the show way before they released the game.
Well, they have been making the game way before they made the movie.
Were they?
Yeah, because this game's been in development since 2016, so 5 years. So they probably like could tell what the success rate was because of older games and been like, yeah, this will smack.
Isn't there like 5 Halo games?
There are 6 Halo games. 7.
I've only played 1, and it wasn't even mine.
1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, 4, 5, Infinite. Now there are 8 games.
Huh.
And then 2 more Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. So 9, 10 games.
And now a show.
Well, the other thing is that in the past, there has been other movies and TV shows. They just didn't do good.
I've never heard of that, but yeah. Is that the whole like, video of him like walking and the chick who was like, I thought you'd be taller, and then all that? or is that part of the game?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I've seen like so many TikToks of Master Chief like walking in like that little, and I guess like the labs or something, or like wherever they are training people, and he's like walking, and then some other chick, which I guess like another soldier, she's like, I thought you'd be taller, and then the next cut scene is like him getting his arms like decompressed and him becoming taller.
Well, like they're taking off the suit.
Yeah,
that is from a cutscene in Halo 4 at the end.
Maybe I don't know. I just see that on TikTok every now and then. I'm like, what is this? Why am I seeing this?
Yeah, that's weird.
All those little I guess they're cutscenes from a show, but from video games. But I think it's like, is that a show?
They look really real.
Yeah.
They look really real.
If that's what they do. The movie, I mean, I'll go watch it.
I mean, I saw some of the shows and movies, and they were good, but like not really good. And I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the success of this one. I hope it's good. I don't want it to be bad, but it's just joined the list of video game movies like the Borderlands, like Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, like just shows. But I think it'll be good.
You think there's gonna be a movie about or a show about the metaverse?
I hope God no.
Because there's
I hope not.
There's already video games. No, sorry. There's already movies about like Ready Player One was almost like a metaverse type of thing. Free Guy was almost a Sorry, Amar. Was a type of that movie. You think they're gonna be going about the metaverse? They're taking it in real life and making it a movie?
Yeah, I mean,
sponsored by
I don't
Facebook?
think it's impossible because people like, especially now, how large the gaming industry seems compared to what it used to. People know more of it now, so there will be someone who comes along and tries to make another kind of like virtual reality game.
Dude, the amount of ads that now use like gaming and like streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's because I like recently started like watching streamers and all that stuff, or it's because literally it's picked up out of nowhere.
Have you noticed that one? I think they also played in movie theaters of that guy playing like some Raid Shadow Legends kind of game with the orc, and he's like spiritually connected to the orc. Like
where he drinks the Coke and then like the orc like
something, and he like looks like into the computer and he looks back at him and then they
it's something
so
stupid like that.
Weird.
I there's so many of those ads
so
now.
much when I saw that.
Like Red Bull the other day was talking about like drinking. If you drink this Red Bull, you'll get better at League of Legends. I was like, what are the two got to do with each other, bro? like what are you doing?
I mean, yeah, it's a symptom of just change. I think it's interesting. I think it's something that is a good sign, but also comes with consequences. Like that is just the general state of gaming right now. It's like highly corporatized, highly like commercialized. So
what was the last, I guess, like trend or phase or whatever that ads and commercials were focused on? For example, like right now, we're like a lot of ads are using like gaming and Twitch and streamers. What was the last thing that everyone used?
COVID. All of the ads, like when we were transitioning out, were like, we're getting over this. Let's get through it together. You're stuck at home. Let's make it a good time. Like just using things about COVID to advertise products. Okay. I think that's like the biggest thing that I can think of. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think like a lot of like political movements as well that happened also during the pandemic.
Like Red Bull can't have a political movement ad.
No, but they can have something like you're protesting at a rally or something, and then
they definitely cannot do that.
I feel like they're gonna get canceled. Like Red Bull could totally do that.
No, bro, I feel like there could be an issue, like boycott. Bro, Corona was named Corona, right? Like it's COVID, but like named Corona, and Corona the beer got freaking no one bought it.
That's true.
If they do that with Red Bull, like you can do this and you can go to a BLM protest, you'll be fine. You'll fly over the banner. What?
I mean, everybody back then did try to show support in very small ways. So I don't doubt that somehow it was in there, whether it was just a logo change or like a color change or something. But like,
do you remember?
I don't know. I don't remember Red Bull doing anything else funky.
Do you remember during like the whole like BLM phase and everything at home, how everyone's Instagrams? I think on like that one Tuesday, all the Instagram posts were like blacked out Tuesday. I was like,
yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I
never did that, but I thought it was funny.
I did it, or I realized what was happening the day after, so like, there's no point.
Yeah.
But I was also like, huh, okay. Well,
I was going through my Instagram. I was like, why is everything black? Did my phone die? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing is like content creators and like streamers are like used so much to sell things now.
Yeah.
Like the product integration in the ads, in the streams, the streamers in ads and other stuff, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy how much they're like, oh, you like these people? Yeah, but what if we made them completely corporate? How would you like them now?
I watched a commercial yesterday on YouTube. Like I was just watching like a random video, but the commercial or the ad for it was, I think, for like Peacock or like Apple, like one of the streaming services, like Netflix and stuff like that. But it was using streamers, and it literally like the last like part of like the ad right before it goes to the logo was, oh my god, I can't even talk about the show. You just have to watch it, and it'll cut, and then it cuts like the streaming service, and I was like, really, that's your ad, really?
That's one hell of a pitch. It's so good that they can't even pitch it to you.
Yeah, they're like, and then when he opens up the cabinet, it's just. I don't even. You just have to go watch it, and then it goes to the ad. I'm like, what is this, bro?
Clever.
I can do this. I can drop out of becoming an engineer and do that. That's easy.
Did you get to watch the Game Awards at all last night?
I watched a little bit up until on and off. I just watched to see who content creator of the year was. Content creator, yeah, that one was because like that's the most one I've heard about. Mm-hmm. All the other like game of the year, most artistic of the year. What was the other ones they have? Some of the other categories?
Best game design, direction, action, writing, like narrative.
Forza 5 won.
Sound design. Best sound design.
No, they won something else. They won.
They also won best accessibility.
That one, when they won that one, you know, like they'll say what else that game won. They're like, and the winner is Forza 5. They also won best racing game of the year. I'm like, who was going against them? I think they should have won that. No
was
matter
anybody
what.
disputing?
Was anyone disputing them?
Forza was gonna.
Like their game looked good. I don't know who else was.
The game looks unnaturally good. It's so crazy.
I played it. Me and Amar played it a little while ago, and we're like, "Is that actually kind of cool?" Okay.
Wait. The newest one or
the newest one? Because Azo downloaded it when he got his wisdom teeth out, and we were playing it at his house until like he fell asleep or whatever, until I left. And I was like, "Okay." The steering's really weird.
Yeah,
it's very like fidgety. Like you just do this, and you're going hard left.
Yeah.
But it was a good game. I was like, okay. What freaked us out was as soon as we opened up the game, like first time I opened up the game, the menu, like, you know, start, options, whatever, you would go on from like start to options. Some guy would be like, options, settings, music up, music down, and then turns out it's like for deaf people. For blind people. You
had like one of the reader functions on?
But I was like, no offense to my blind people, but how are you playing a racing game? That was my question.
That is true.
Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but how are you playing a racing game?
How do they play racing games? That's a good question.
Right?
I guess we'll have to like do more look into that, because I imagine they do in a way.
Because like that's why I like when they said Forza 5 won last night for like most disability accessible or whatever, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because as soon as I opened up the game, it said start, options, music up, music down, left, right. I was like, okay, relax, brother, relax. I'm not blind. I can see. Relax. I can do this.
I think it's really, really like telling of like the Game Awards themselves were in like this cool venue. They had nice hosts. They had like
the sponsors
all of
and
this
the
stuff,
ads.
the sponsors and the ads at the wazoo. But the actual event itself was kind of snooze, bro.
It looked like it was kind of boring.
It was kind of boring. Like,
if you weren't watching it from like, I watch it off my phone, you know, like Twitch or whatever. If you weren't watching it from there and you were in person, it looked like it would have been boring.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an event that I'd actually want to go to.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, I want to know what's going on. So I watched it from beginning to end.
Oh, yeah, no, I did.
But the entire time I was like, there's so much I just want to skip. There's so much that I just don't care for. Like, I just don't want to see it.
You ever watch a stream or like a streamer or something, and you're so bored of what they're doing, so you try to like skip on the stream, but It's a live stream and you can't.
Yep. There was actually a point of the night where I had skipped so much that I'd caught up to the actual part of the stream. So then I was like, yeah, I gotta sit through all of this now. All the ads, all the weird like mentions and all that. It was just bad.
The way they presented it was kind of odd, because, for example, like, I know they did this for multiple categories, but for Streamer of the Year or Content Creator of the Year, instead of actually having, you know, a person walk up, get a trophy, give a little speech, and go back down, They just had the
They blazed
list
through
on
it.
it, and then they're like, Dream. Okay, next category.
Yeah.
Versus like all the video games that won.
They rolled through it.
The video games that won, yeah, come on up, get your award, high five the person sitting next to you, give a little speech, and then you can walk off. Content creator of the year. Dream. Okay, cool. Next. Best game racing.
I think that was because they actually had the game devs there to take the awards, but all of those other smaller ones, they didn't actually have them in house to even come. But let them get their award. They had
content creators there, so they could have gone up and gotten.
They had content creators, but not Dream and all those other guys or any of the actual people. Yeah, maybe.
So I guess he's probably not gonna walk up and be like, "Hello."
I don't think he was there.
Yeah, so it makes sense for him not to be there. I don't know, but I know Fuzi was there, for example. She was one of the other people, and so she was like. Wow. I know. And so I saw a bunch of people in the audience, and the Shang-Chi guy was there.
Yes, that part was very strange.
That was a little cringy, but...
It was a little cringe. I do have to admit. The whole, award show, you could say, had, a level of sprinkled cringe in there. I don't know how they couldn't have done it, because it seemed like a hard job. Something that's, those jokes to just sell them to make them funny and stuff. But at the same time, as a viewer, I just can't deny that it was, pretty whack.
The amount of times that one chick went up was like, yeah, I'm going to be presenting this.
And
come join me on this dude's stream. Oh my God, I was like, dude, I'm not doing that.
Everybody who I was talking to who was watching the thing was like, why?
Why do you keep coming
Why is Verizon trying to go up my bum?
Verizon 5G is sponsored by. And I'm like, okay, shut up. Moving on.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name. I just remember how much I hated them.
Yeah, I don't even know who that was.
Me neither. To be honest, I don't even remember. All I remember is I was like, yeah, this is funny. And then the guy who I was watching watch the Game Awards jumped onto the guy's stream and looked at the chat and saw how toxic they were and how mean they were being about the whole thing. And he was like, oh, quick, whoa. And he closed it up.
Like that. Like, yep, leave this real quick.
Yeah. He was like, can't open that. That's a whole nother bag of worms.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's funny. But watching it, I was like, this seems okay from our side. I wonder what it is sitting over there.
Well, I wonder what it is too, especially because it was such a pretty venue they had. It was so cool. They had Jacksepticeye,
which means he flew in from London just to do this.
Yeah,
and interview Spider-Man.
Yeah, that too. Which by the way, Tom, or not Tom, what's his name?
Jacksepticeye.
Jack. Listen, buddy. I love your videos, but you put way too many Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers just sprinkled in that interview. I know they were talking about something, but you didn't have to put the video clips too.
I watched it before we met up to hang out, and I was like, I gotta tell Asad not to watch this.
Yeah, no, I watched it for the first couple minutes because I was like, oh, that's cool. They were interviewing them, and then I was like, wait a second, this is a trap.
But they didn't talk about it too much in the interview.
The whole interview is about the movie, dude.
Yeah, but they brought up random other things.
Yeah, I guess, but there was literally a part where Tom was like, and the villains, they're just so cool, and then they just played a clip straight from the trailer.
And then it's Dr. What's his face? Talking
no. Listen, I'm not gonna propagate the spoiling. Okay, people will watch it in a week. It'll be all good and dandy. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I guess we can tell them, right? We actually are gonna watch the movie in a huge theater with all of our friends.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're doing this thing basically where you can rent out the entire theater, and bring a maximum of 30 people.
You can bring more, but you just have to pay more.
Oh, what?
I mean, it's the next tier up. You can get a bigger theater and stuff.
Well, our maximum is 30, and then you just fill up the house. And
we don't know more than 30 people to bring.
We're already struggling to bring that many people, so I don't know. But I'm so excited because I just want to watch this movie so bad. Mostly so that I can stop being afraid on the internet for the spoilers.
It's no, because if you don't watch a Marvel movie within the first 2 days of it being released, it's going to get spoiled for you.
Yeah, you have to take the GG and just accept that you're going to get something taken.
I think Endgame Infinity War. I didn't watch it directly as it came out. I kind of waited until it's on my illegal websites, and then I watched it. No, I watched it with you guys. Infinity War was one I watched with you guys.
Yeah,
Endgame,
we watched that.
We watched together.
We watched all of them.
One of the movies I didn't watch right away. It got spoiled so fast. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I guess I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, I think for me,
Shang-Chi, that one.
I didn't watch Ant-Man. Next day, all of it. I just knew all of it.
All of it was on TikTok, social media, Instagram. Hey, if you guys didn't know, this thing happens. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, before we went and watched Shang-Chi, I was like, great. So this happens.
I already know everything that's going to go on right now.
Yeah. You were just sitting there like, yeah.
Well, I'd seen the movie twice at that point already. So
why would you come then?
Because of the vibes, bro.
The vibes of all of us.
The vibes. No. When we watched Shang-Chi for the first time, that was also my first time. And then I watched it again with my brothers.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they wanted me to watch it with them, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure.
What's it called? I was talking to my mom the other day about us going to the movie, like renting out the whole movie. I was like, yeah, and I made a joke that Thomas was gonna bring his like female friend, but it would be smart if she didn't come, just because she would like judge the hell out of us, and everyone who I don't know or like doesn't know us that well that's gonna show up, is gonna judge the hell out of us. Because you remember in Infinity War, it was the first time we met Thomas's girlfriend at that time, and I was sitting like 2 seats from her, and you and me were like, what? And we got out of our seats. We were looking at each other across the row.
Yeah, we were being pretty expressive.
All of us in that line were just freaking out at one point. I was like, what?
I told the same thing to my dad. I was like, at movies, when I'm with my friends, it's like we're all like talking during the movie and like looking back and forth at one another and like gasping like crazy. Like,
yeah, no, me and Amar were sitting next to each other, and I was like just leaning in and like talking to him about stuff. And then, Tom's girlfriend at the time, I was like, I don't really know her. I can't really be like, hi, did you see this part in the movie? So I have to like look for you across the ocean. I'm like, hey, Assad,
yep.
hey, did you see Spider-Man? It was like, I'm pretty sure everyone behind us hated us.
I think so. But the best thing about this theater is that no one's behind us.
Yeah, this time no one's going to say anything.
It's just all us.
They'll be like, guys, can you shut up? No, leave, get out.
Is there like a thing with like Arab ladies at the movie theater in a specific way they are? Because there is like a trope with Desi moms that they are so loud at movie theaters. They whistle every time the main guy takes his shirt off. They're always like screaming and shouting, and they're like also like feeding their kids at the same time as they're sitting in the movie theater. So they're like very, very obnoxious and very loud.
No, I think I don't go to the movies that much with, like, for example, like, say my mom, right? I just, if I go with my family, it's usually just like my siblings. No, not as much. I think my issue with my mom is she doesn't really care for a lot of like the movies.
Oh.
Especially if like they're like sci-fi or like something weird, like doesn't like really resonate with her. We went and watched a movie many years ago, and she ended up just falling asleep like halfway through it. So now we know like not to take my mom to a movie just because she'll fall asleep in the middle of the movie. She'll be like, "Oh, what happened? What happened to the movie?
What did I miss?
Didn't the guy just get out of like the car and like he was walking towards like the store? What happened to him? Oh, Mom, yeah, he got hit in the head by a guy and got kidnapped and like all. Really? I didn't see. I was like, yeah, you were asleep. I know."
Yeah, my dad does the same thing. He just like, if the movie is not a straight up realistic action movie, he will not be able to like keep his eyes open, and he will just pass out.
I have a cousin who will fall asleep in a movie, like full on fall asleep. But when you wake him up after the movie, he'll know exactly what happened.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what?
He's like keeping track while he's sleeping?
While he's asleep, somehow, like they were watching a horror movie at one point. Like all of the cousins in one of the cousins' house, and he fell asleep. That's the first red flag. He fell asleep during a horror movie.
That's a feat.
And then I think it might have been like Paranormal Activity that they were watching.
Whoa!
And he fell asleep, and I'm like, that's a red flag, but okay, whatever. And then when we woke him up at the end of it, he was like, "Yeah, no, bro, I know exactly what happened. The girl died. This happened. That happened. This happened." I'm like, "Weren't you asleep?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "How do you know what happened then?"
He's got like eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah, in the back of his like his mind's still on while he's asleep, so he like knows exactly what's going on.
He has transparent eyelids, so he's just watching the movie with his eyes closed.
And that was like maybe 10 or so years ago, and he still does it now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand. Like, I'm not one to sleep in movies unless I'm like literally physically tired. I can't like it's usually I'm so captivated and interested with the movie that I just can't fall asleep during the movie. But I know so many people who like that's their way of snoozing. They just put on a movie and just instantly pass out.
No, like if I'm at like a movie theater, I don't really fall asleep. I know I've fallen asleep once at a movie theater, And that was when I was younger. I was watching the movie 7 Pounds with Will Smith.
Oh.
That movie was not a movie to fall asleep to.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, it wasn't like a horror movie or like an action movie, but the meaning behind the movie was very strong to point like why are you falling asleep to it? But like if I'm at home watching a movie, I don't really care as much. I might fall asleep.
There's this movie called Requiem for a Dream, which is...
That sounds funny.
It basically, Requiem for, like, literally, it means, like, what would you give for your dream?
Oh.
So it means, like, it literally means sell your soul for your dream, or, like, sell your happiness, which is literally what happens in the movie. It is very dark, very sad, very messed up. And, like,
I kind of want to watch it.
Really psychological. I hated it so much because of how much it, like, I empathize really hard with, like, characters. Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem?
Requiem. Requiem.
Oh, Requiem for a Dream. The first thing you put out for it.
Yes. Oh. That movie is
rated R. Came out in 2000. Drama, psychological
That movie
thriller.
I could not fall asleep to even if I tried. Because it's just so mentally jarring. Like, it literally, whether you like it or not, it takes your brain out of your head and goes, mine now. And just messes with it.
Imaginatively evoking the inner landscape of human beings, looking to connect, to love, and to feel. The film is a parable of happiness. Parable? Whatever. Yeah. Of happiness, gloriously found and tragically lost. Requiem for a Dream tells a parallel stories that are linked by the relationship between the lonely, widowed Sarah Goldfarb. That's not a name. You can tell me that's a name.
It's a... Yeah.
And her sweet but aimless son, Harry. The plump Sarah, galvanized by the prospect of appearing on TV game show, has started on a dangerous diet regime to beautying herself for a national audience.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the specifics. That's probably one of the reasons it's bad, or like it messes with my head. I don't want to go into the specifics because it makes me really uncomfortable. But that movie is really, really, like, you can't fall asleep. If you're actually paying attention, you will not fall asleep.
I'll change that. Jared Leto's in it.
Yeah.
Marilyn Williams, Ron Wayne's, Jennifer Connelly. She looks like a psychopath sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, makes sense. But no, falling asleep at home during a movie sometimes happens to me, but I'd have to be like actually sleeping before I even start the movie.
I think that movie is an exception, but I think in general at home when you're like nice and warm in your couch and you're just like chilling, it's very, very easy to just pop off and just go to sleep.
Do you ever have this issue where it's like, say like watch a movie, whatever movie, right? And you kind of like, it's not that you didn't like it, but it's also not like you liked it. It's kind of just middle tier. And then when you talk to people like, oh my god, it was trash, like blah blah blah. Like, yes. I didn't really hate it that much. Like I don't hate movies, but whenever someone tells me, oh, that movie was trash, I'd be like, really? Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you, but okay.
A lot of the people who I watch who do like movie analytics and things like that, there's a common thing that they say all the time where people say every single movie is either the worst thing they've ever seen or it's like life-changing and like is the best thing that's ever been produced. And you're right. There are movies that can just be good, like just okay movies, and it's okay to just be okay. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking in order to be a good movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't accept that. So they really, really go extreme with their reviews, like super terrible, super good, blah blah.
I think I had a conversation with Tristan a little, like maybe over a year ago. We were talking about a movie. I don't remember what it was, but he didn't like it. I was like, "Nah, bro, it's not that bad." He goes, "Bro, it was bad." I'm like, "Oh, it's not that, bro, it was bad." I'm like, "No, relax." And like it wasn't that bad.
A lot of people did that with like the last couple Marvel movies, especially Eternals.
Oh yeah,
like
I liked Eternals.
I thought Eternals was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was just all right, but everybody was like, "This movie's awful. It sucks. It's so bad." I was like, "Oh my god, we did not watch the same movie, did we?" Because I just thought it was okay.
Yeah, I was like, "That's not bad at all." Like, I don't see why everyone hated it.
Yeah, same thing happens with like just normal movies in general. Like there was that movie Red Notice on Netflix with
Sandra Bullock and
Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
and that movie was
alright.
It was alright. Yeah, it was just okay. But everybody was like, "Ugh, this is trash," and some people were like, "Oh my god, this is the best movie I've ever seen."
You're talking about the hottest person in the world. Crazy acting. Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds.
But like, I've never actually hated a movie. Like, I never said this was a bad movie.
I still have hated movies.
That's a lie. I've watched one movie that came to mind. It is a trash movie. It pissed me off when I finished it.
Which movie?
It's called Open House. It's with the dude from 13 Reasons Why. What's his face?
Cole.
Sure, I don't know almost. But essentially, it's just like the movie. It's about like I guess his aunt or his mom or whatever. She does open houses like real estate agent, and they're at a cabin in the woods essentially that they're trying to sell.
It's a horror movie.
It's a thriller. It's not even a horror movie at this point. And they're just like they're trying to sell a house. You know, the mom's doing her job. The kid's just figuring out why this place is so sussy. And at the end of the movie, you're not gonna. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna save it.
I am not watching
the
this.
movie.
Please
It's gonna be
spoil
stupid.
it. I will not watch it.
The end of the movie, I guess like they like the mom and the kid, whatever his name is, Cole, whatever his name, both end up dying.
Huh.
And
who would have thunk?
And then the kid's like on the floor like dead, I guess. And the bad guy who lived in the house because like he hid in the house because anyone can walk in an open house. No one knows who the bad guy is because at the end of the last scene, right before the credits roll, is the kid like I guess dead on the floor, and then the guy walking into frame, and you can just see up to his knees, and then it cuts, and so you don't know who the mirror is. And I'm like, I am going to sue you.
Was there a sequel for this movie at all?
No. It's just like I guess like a thriller of some sort or something, but I'm just like, it wasn't even that good for me to go look about who killed you. Like, and then I read up on it. I was like, you know, maybe I'm missing something. Literally, everyone online was like, yeah, no, there's no ending. It's just that. And I'm like, what? You tell me I wasted an hour and 42 minutes of my life watching a movie that has no ending?
That's so unfortunate. That's like so unsatisfying to not get to know what it was at the end that was doing literally the whole movie.
I was like, what's the point of this movie? Like, just to make you feel weird about someone who comes in for an open house but never leaves?
You know, there's a lot of horror stories that I also think the same thing. I'm like, this point, that concept could not have been done worse. Like, it's just not needed. Like, there was a couple of horror movies about like moving to a rural town, moving to an urban town, moving to a city, moving to a changing a job, going here, going there, like normal people stuff, pretty normal human being stuff, and then they're like, ooh, but what if there was something spooky going on? Then would this be fun? But I
think horror movies need to just do better.
I have a very high standard when it comes to like a horror movie because I even in elementary school, like I hated them. But I do watch some. I only watch like ones that I think are like substantial, like they have something in them versus like just cookie cutter, like, oh, this is that thing, but scary version.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
There's a game coming out, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What's it called? Do you the horror movies that you watch? Do you like the ones where it's like jump scares and like, oh, okay, I'm actually feel frightened, or do you like the mental game like Hereditary?
I like the jump scares more just because the mental one, it doesn't scare me, but it disturbs me and it makes me like really uncomfortable and it lasts. The jump scare ones, particularly because jump scares aren't really that, like, they don't work on me as much, it's already like not as crazy bad to deal with.
I remember watching Hereditary. Have you ever watched Hereditary?
Yeah.
I watched Hereditary. And we were in school. I was watching it. It was one of those like TED Talks or whatever we were having in school. And I was just watching it on my phone. And I think Amar was sitting next to me. Amar watched it, I think, the night or two before. And he was just like, dude, don't watch it. It's scary, bro. It's scary. And until now, he brings up like one of the scene where the girl's like her head is out of the window. Every single time I put my head out of the window or someone puts his hand out of the window or something like just about to go. He's like, dude, have you not seen Hereditary? Stop. What are you doing? He like freaks out.
I did that the other day, actually. I stuck my head out of something and somebody was like, no, have you seen Hereditary, bro? That's not a good idea. It's not.
When we went to that one like ramen place in West, and I think we were getting like cookies after, he mentioned it. And I was like, dude, relax. Literally, all my body parts are in the car. Relax. It's just, but I think the psychological ones are kind of cool.
I think the psychological ones, I also want them to do it. Like, okay, so Hereditary was a really good example of like a little bit of both. Yeah. It was very, very horror based, but it was also like very psychological, like deep in your brain. And the same people who made Hereditary made this movie called Midsommar. And Midsommar was a heavier psychological movie on that side. It was still pretty good. Like, it had like good jump scares and everything. And the psychological part was okay, but that was like the main part of the movie, and it didn't do that hot. It didn't do that hot. They couldn't replicate how good they did it the first time.
Yeah. Okay,
Which is difficult.
Makes sense.
And then you have movies like A Quiet Place, right? Which is literally all jump scares, and the fear is not necessarily that it's like it's in your brain, like psychological, but it's more like you can imagine you were there, and you know that if you were there, you'd be scared, so then you get scared.
I went and watched A Quiet Place 2 by myself. Literally by myself. It was really depressing. But anyway.
Yeah.
It was a total of 5 people in the movie theater, including me. And I was kind of just sitting there alone, like eating my like popcorn, just watching the movie. It felt so weird, the fact that there was no one in the theater, but also like the movie itself. I was like, yeah, it was a little creepy.
Yeah, watching most movies, but mostly like horror movies alone is definitely weird. Like it's usually a group thing.
Yeah,
it's usually a thing that people do together to see who gets scared, or like to have a good experience. You guys,
it's like, yo, bro, I got 3 hours to kill.
Yeah, but you asked us on a very unfortunate day where all of us had legitimate things that we had to be doing.
That's true.
And it just was unfortunate that you had to go to the movie theater.
I was like, no, I'll go watch a movie, and I went and watched a movie, and I was like, can I get one ticket to Quiet Place, please? And she goes, okay.
Man.
That was the day. Shoot, what day was it? We had a funeral that day, and then everyone went back to work for Felix.
Oh.
After that, I had a couple hours to kill, and I went to go watch a movie, and it was the funniest thing because when I went, I had, I was still wearing like the suit from like the funeral, but I just took off my jacket, and I just went up, I got the ticket, whatever, and I'm going to get like some snacks, and the lady at the snack bar goes, like, what's the occasion? Like, congrats, what happened? I'm like, oh, for a split second, I was like, do I tell her the truth and tell her I just came from a funeral of my friend who I went to school with? Or do I lie? Do I just straight up become a horrible person and lie?
Do I just flex with this ice on me that's totally not related to somebody who died?
And I was like, what? At that moment, I was like, in a split second, I was like, what does a good person do? So I told her, yeah, my girlfriend just broke up with me, and I bought this movie tickets. I told her I got these movie tickets for me and her to come watch it. And the whole story, I swear, I was like, the story was me and my girlfriend, we do this thing where we overly dress to a normal, simple date. For example, like the movies. Mm-hmm. So I come wearing a suit, she comes wearing a really like pretty dress or something, and we go and watch a movie looking very, good, right? Yeah. And so I told her that was my story. I was like, but she broke up with me, and I thought, I bought these tickets ahead of time, so I figured I'd just come watch it today. And the look on the lady's face as she was giving me my popcorn was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. You know what? Take it on us. I was I gotta lie every time.
Free popcorn.
I was like, I gotta lie. I got a free popcorn, Sour Patch Kids, and a Slurpee, right?
Whoa.
Because I was fat. Still am. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll pay for it. She goes, no. I was like, okay, what's the cheapest thing here? She goes, the candy. I was like, okay, I'll pay for the candy. She goes, you know what? Fine. So I paid for the candy, but I left with free popcorn and free slushy, and I was like,
that's big ballin'.
Yeah, I think I just gotta do this.
You really just took advantage of the system all the way there, bro. That is big ballin'.
Dude, do you want to wear suits to the show, to the movie?
That would be so cool if we did like a red carpet thing.
And like all the boys just wear suits. No one else has to wear suits, just the boys.
That would be so funny.
I would be so down.
I'd be down to do that too.
Hey, boys that are listening. Wait, this is gonna come out later. Never mind.
Yeah, they're not gonna hear it.
They're not gonna hear it in time.
Do you remember how at our old school we used to have Fancy Friday?
Oh, that was
and how
weird.
The kids would just roll up in fancy suits on Fridays.
We used to have Fancy Fridays, and then we also had like Hawaiian
Fridays
or
as well.
Fridays, whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember wanting to get the best shirt because all of the other kids who did it had super cool Hawaiian shirts, and mine was not. But it's just a par.
It kind of made Hawaiian themed anything, like any events after that, kind of like useless.
Really?
Like when we did the freshman orientation, and I was like, yeah, we'll do a Hawaiian fits. I was like, I feel like this is repetitive at this point. Like everyone wears it every week.
Yeah.
And then what's it called? For presentation days, we wear suits, and they were like, yeah, Fancy Fridays, we'll just do Fancy Fridays. And I was like, well, there goes the power of the suit.
Well, You got axed, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. But that would be like fun to do that at the movie theater again like that.
I'm down, bro. You just gotta let me know. I'll roll up with a suit. I'll roll up with my my maroon tuxedo, with my black shirt and like a maroon bow tie. I'll look like this. Why are you wearing this to a movie?
I don't know, but don't I look good in it?
But don't I look good, bro? Look at me. Let me flex real quick. Hey, Spider-Man. Hiya, cha-cha.
One thing good that I guess we both passed the hump is that we're done with exams.
That's true.
Woo!
Now we can live our life and be happy.
Yes.
Well, theoretically. Anyway.
You know, I was thinking all semester, right? We were like craving for a break. We were like, oh my God, please, it just ended. Just give me a breather to something, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, typically, just from experience, I've learned, you know, like, you go through that phase where, like, you're really busy, you have no time. And then when you have infinite time, you're like, who am I? What do I even do?
What is the purpose of my life?
So right now, while I'm, you know, today was my last exam, I'm, like, thinking in the back of my mind every time I have a moment, like, I'm going to plan out like things that if I'm super bored and like I don't know what to do during the break, like I just like put my finger on this random list and just go do that thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, like it's a big problem that I always have.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not being able to like actually capitalize on when you have break because you're so like bored.
I was actually talking about this with my mom actually literally last night. I was like, what, like, school is done. We have roughly like around a month.
Is it?
We have from the 17th to the 18th.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so a month. And I was like, what do I do for this month? She goes, go get a job. I'm like, not for a month. Because next semester I'm going to have a lot of like hard classes. Like I'm not about to go work next semester until I figure out my schedule. So, like, what do I do? Yeah. What do I do this month that I have? She goes, I don't know. Relax. The fact that hold on, time out, real quick. The fact that my mother told me to relax is saying something. I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do with my month. And I was having this conversation with her at like 2 a.m.
And maybe that's why she said relax.
Maybe, yeah, bro.
She was up in the clouds.
Because I did my exam and up until like 11:30, and then I chilled from 11:30 to like 2. At 2, I took a shower, and then I did my last exam at 4 a.m. Dang. Don't ask me why.
Nice.
I just wanted to get it all over with.
Very effective. Very effective. I like it.
And I went to sleep at like 7.
Dude, that's almost as bad as me. I had my exam at 7:30 and I went to bed at 4:30, so I only got 2-ish hours of sleep.
Yeah, I had to wake up at like 11:15ish.
Dang.
Anyway, she was like, yeah, just like relax, because she knows that I've been like annoyed and stressed out about school and everything come with it. So the fact she was like, relax, I'm like, is this actually a sign for me to relax? I don't have anything planned. Maybe my family decides to go on a trip. Maybe as the boys we go on a trip. Maybe like we do something, but I have nothing planned besides like going to the movies. All of us. That's the only thing I have planned right now. There
was one thing that I did have planned that I was like, get that done, and I got it done today. But I was like, you know what? You haven't been on Amazon in a couple days. All right,
is that why you were on Amazon last night?
Your friend just got some cool practice butterfly knives. Why don't you go splurge? Why don't you go wild on Amazon?
This is what Nelly calls retail therapy.
Yes, and I am not one to buy things a lot, but yesterday, you know what? I was like, maybe.
End of semester.
But it was also like, I still wasn't really doing it because I was just getting like necessities, like things I need, like groceries and things like not groceries, but like household stuff. Yeah. But it still felt nice.
A Batman knife.
It still felt nice going on an Amazon, just picking the lowest price for a thing and just adding it to the cart. No thoughts.
Yeah.
But yes, I do want to also get like a cool knife because the one that I've got is dulling out now. And the screw for the part where the blade connects to the hilt is like loose, so the blade jiggles inside the handle.
Let me see that. I might have a screw for it, so let me see if you...
Yeah, I'll show you that later. Yeah. But I'm in the mood. I was in the mood to splurge, and now that I've splurged, I kind of feel like doing it again too. So I'm reining myself in. But that was one thing that I did. I was like already like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do this on break.
Like a weird side note on that, I realized that some of the knives we currently buy nowadays from like online, Amazon, all that mumbo jumbo, they don't really sharpen once they start getting dull.
What do you mean?
Like I've had okay, so I was in Boy Scouts, right? I don't know if I've ever said this on podcast or not, but I was in Boy Scouts and I've become an Eagle Scout, and so like I've dealt with like pocket knives and stuff like that. I've bought my fair share, and some of the ones that you get from online, like what's that one big pocket knife company that everyone really likes, like Tac Force or something like that?
Yeah.
Some of the knives I've gotten, like Tac Force knives, or like the cool looking knives, that you can take. Some of those don't sharpen. Like the sharpness that they give you, as soon as it becomes dull, you can't sharpen again. And I've talked to like some other like Boy Scouts and stuff like that. I was like, do you guys like ever sharpen your knives? You're like, no. As soon as it gets dull, we kind of just go buy another one.
Do you know why that is?
I
like what could be going on?
No clue. Like I think it might be like either the way they make it or some metal thing. I don't know what it is, but like some of the stuff doesn't sharpen correctly. And if you sharpen it, it'll just scratch it.
Oh.
And what I found a really old knife once when I was camping. It's like just a normal like one blade knife, almost looks like a straight blade, and it was like an old knife, right? Like the standard red color where you put your hand hold it, whatever.
Might cut your throat shaving it.
Honestly, yeah, no, it looked like a straight blade, and it didn't have one of like the little switches where it's like a switch knife. It's literally you pull it out, push back in. That knife was old, and I found it in the middle of like in the ground, right? I took it and it was dull. I sharpened it. That was 5 years ago. It is until now the sharpest thing I have in my room. And it is old as hell.
But some of those Tac Force stuff.
But some of the other stuff is just dull now. And like I try to sharpen it, it does not work. I can take that like really old knife and I can just go walk up to a paper and just cut it off. And I was like, why is this so sharp? And the stuff I spent actual money on, there's like some good company just not sharp.
Dude, that sounds sick. That's also sucky that it's not the normal ones don't sharpen.
And it looks like boring, so I'm like, I'm not gonna, carry this around. Like, if I want to use a nice knife, I'll use a nice knife. But like,
it's the silent stab.
Yeah,
it's the one that no one expects to be really good, but it is.
Because when I found it, I started sharpening it at the campsite, right? And while I was camping, and my friend was one sharpening, and he was like, "This is a really interesting knife." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like I actually remember the exact moment. I was making food, and he was sitting on the bench, like sharpening it with like the whetstone, and he was like, "This is a very interesting knife." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Let me see your knife," like one of the Tac Force knives I got. So I gave him it. He sharpened it. I was like, "Okay," and then he sharpens the old one. He's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "The old one that we just found sharpens a lot smoother than the Tac Force one." I'm like, "Uh-huh," and he was completely right. Like I've sharpened my Tac Force knife a couple times now. The other one I use almost around the same amount. Does not sharpen. Does not dull out. So I'm like, this is very interesting. I never noticed it until like I got a new knife recently, and I was like, huh.
Maybe when I do in the future, because I do want to sharpen it eventually, we can test that theory and like see what's going on.
Check your swords. I don't know where you bought your swords from, like the ones you have over
there. I want to see if those can
dull.
If those can sharpen.
If they ever get dull, see if they sharpen or not.
That is something I want to do though. I want to learn how to like properly use a whetstone and like actually sharpen my knives. Because that stupid thing that they give you in kitchen sets does not work.
The little rod thing?
Well, yeah, the rod thing, but then also sometimes they'll give you that like countertop thing that looks like a handle, and then you put the knife in the middle of like a valley.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then you just pull it.
That works on my knives. I know some of my kitchen knives that works on.
I know certain like maybe like serrated knives it works because of the bumps or whatever, but like most normal knives it just does not work.
You don't really sharpen.
Really?
Honestly, like it has like a specific way to sharpen those. I've never once. You know how some of my pocket knives have like the bottom like a little bit is serrated, but the rest of it's like an actual blade. Mm-hmm. I only sharpen the blade. I never sharpen the serrated because serrated is not meant to like cut unless you're gonna cut metal. Cut meat like or saw. Something. Yeah, it's like a saw type of thing. But like it's a very specific way to sharpen serrated knives. But for like the little valley thing, I don't know what it's called. That's worked on like my normal kitchen knives. Really? Because I cannot tell that it just does not work on mine. If it's like a colored knife, or if there's like a print on the knife itself, like the middle, it won't sharpen. Like it will not work on it. No way. But the idea of that is like the valley. You put the knife right in the middle, and the valley just essentially squeezes on the bottom of the blade where you cut, and then you just pull out. So you go.
I also think the idea of sharpening it with a whetstone is a lot cooler.
It's way cooler. I have two at home just for the fun of it.
Can you just get like any old whetstone, or because there's certain knives that I saw on Amazon that like did come with a whetstone.
Those are
they
the
were like
cool
those tiny
ones. Those
ones.
are like the bougie ones. I have like a full on like if you open up like a wallet like size. It's like a full on thing.
But is there like a difference in versions or quality or things like that?
Most of the time, it's the same thing.
And what is it exactly?
It's like the gray thing. Yeah, I don't really know what's called like a whetstone. There's certain stones in nature you can use as a sharpening stone.
What?
It's just like you can't use every single stone. I don't know if the stone's off to my head. If like I saw it, I can tell you it. But
I think Al, one of our other friends, tried to explain that to me once, and I just did not really remember or register. But like, does it have to do something with like how an object is like super smooth, and if you rub a super smooth thing against something else, it'll make it that smoothness?
Brother, I have no clue. I just know how to use a whetstone.
Well,
I want to know the science behind it.
I want to figure it out.
Let me see if I can like Google and see like how does a whetstone work? I guess. How does a whetstone work? Well, generally you have two sides, coarse and fine grit. The coarse side works to pre-sharpen by grinding off the rough edge and any burrs. The fine grit side finishes off the work by working the dull blade into a super sharp edge. Yeah. So one side is like kind of looks sparkly and the other side doesn't. The sparkly is the final.
Oh.
Yeah. But sometimes you can just skip to the final if you don't really care about your knife. Like that little like. Supposedly there's also like an angle you have to like hold it at like almost like a 45, a little less, and you gotta go get it. And then the one thing, because in Boy Scouts they taught you this, and like you have to take a whole course for it or whatever.
For grinding a whetstone or for sharpening a knife?
Yeah, because they teach you
a whole course.
They teach you how to use a pocket knife, a saw, an axe, and like a hatchet.
Whoa!
And they call it like a totenchit. I didn't cuss. It's CHIT.
Oh really?
Totenchit, one of those two.
Fireman chit.
Fireman chit. I don't know what it was. One of those two. It's either CHIT or CHIP. It's different if you're for fire and knives. But they teach you like the whole course. You got to walk around. You got to like do like, oh, this is how you pass off a knife. That's when Amar today, when he was talking to Al about the knife thing, he had to like walk up to the other guy, and you have to hold the blade, giving it to the other guy. The other guy grabs the handle. Grab the handle real quick. And grabs the handle, and then I'm not allowed to let go until you say thank you.
Oh, what?
That's the whole thing Amar was talking about today.
I didn't get that. That's so funny.
And so it's like essentially saying like, do you understand I'm giving you this knife?
Oh, so it's like a safety thing.
Kind of. So it's like when he hands you the knife, like you look at him like thank you, and then you take it from him.
Interesting.
And if you don't, the guy is like not supposed to like let go, but if like he's gonna cut himself, he lets go, and then like he goes and like yells at you. But anyway.
Wow.
They teach you a whole thing where it's like you have to do like an angled at the whetstone, and then if you like scratch it like 4 times, flip your knife and scratch it 4 times on the other side.
Right, because you have to even out the blade.
Yeah, so it's a very weird structure. What's the word?
Like
system,
process.
Process. And so like they taught us all of that, and then they taught us also like how to do fires and stuff, and then it's called the fireman chit.
I think when I'm a kid, I'm definitely going to send my kids to Boy Scouts. Because that was something that I really wanted to do and I could not do.
It's not called Boy Scouts anymore. It's called Scouts of America.
I'm going to send them to Scout Friends of America.
Let me go see. Is it called
the National Scouts Bros?
Well, now there's girls, so there's not even any. Yeah. Totenchip, yeah. Totenchip, and then it's fireman chit. Yeah.
Oh, Totenchip.
Yeah. TOTIN apostrophe chip.
And then the fireman chit.
Fireman chit. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, fireman chit.
Fireman chit.
Fire M apostrophe N chit.
Yeah, guys.
Fireman chit. Yeah,
this is really weirdly spelled.
And then you have the totenchip, right? And then if you like are really cool and like you're very good, you can go take like an extra course, kind of course type of thing, and you can become what we call Paul Bunyan. Essentially, have I ever heard of Paul Bunyan? You're allowed to carry around an axe during camping at Boy Scouts, and like that, you're essentially top tier. You're an S tier type dude. You're an S tier human being. Yeah, and so you like a couple of people during like camps used to go and do it, and you can just see them walking around like in just an axe and like out of their back pocket. Sigma males? Yeah. No. Paul Bunyan. You can actually carry like an axe, a machete, a hatchet, and all like the random stuff. Like, and they'll be completely fine. And then someone walks up to you, "Hey, why are you carrying an axe?" "Oh, well, actually, here's my Paul Bunyan. Bunyan chit. I don't know what it's called. Paul Bunyan chit. But chip. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Remember that one time when we were camping and we brought the machete along? We were just slicing that piece of cheese. Yeah.
Just absolutely
we went camping,
slicing it.
And we stupidly bought a pound of cheese.
A lot of cheese. Like, imagine a brick of cheese the length of your elbow to your wrist.
I think I haven't actually, like, at home, like, I actually eat from it. I think it might have been actually, like, 3 pounds.
Oh, my God.
And we paid $11 for it.
Why? Well spent. Money
Me and
well
Al are
spent.
just stupid. But we got it, and I guess we didn't really use it that much. So by the time we were, like, packing up and, like, getting ready to go home, we just had, like, at minimum, like, 2.5 pounds of cheese left. And we were like, what do we do with this? And so I brought my machete because I was like, why not?
It's a nice machete, bro. Machete.
It's like a normal blade from the front and then a serrated on the back. It's kind of fun. And I was like, hey, any of you guys ever play Fruit Ninja? And so we just took the log of cheese, threw it up in the air, and just tried to... But the cheese was so cold, when you hit it, it just goes, like, thump right in there and does not cut right through. It did not cut right through, bro. It was kind of sad.
I just remember we were expecting, like, that anime moment where you slice through your enemy and you come out the other side. But then in reality, it was like playing baseball with some cheese.
Yeah.
Because the machete was not going through it all the way.
It just sucked it right in.
So then at the end of the part, we were, like, putting it on the floor, like, guillotine style. And just, like hacking at it from above like that and just chopping it into bits.
We used it to go fishing.
Yes. We did not waste the cheese. We used it as fish bait in the river because those fish love hot dogs and cheese.
Uh-huh.
So it was really, really useful.
Well spent.
Well, yeah, money well...
$11 well spent.
Completely validated purchase.
Yeah.
Oh, something you were talking about earlier that I guess it's a forever problem. But, bro, how is your sleep schedule now? Because we went from Thanksgiving break, so, like, you're kind of chilling, but, you know, kind of normal. Back to school, right? Exams, so, like, extra studying.
Yeah. And
now we're at break, so we're, like, free now. Like, we can sleep however we want now. Like the last few days have been the craziest days. Sometimes I get, like, 12 hours of sleep. Sometimes I get 2.
The most sleep I've ever had since beginning of college, 8 hours. And that's, people are like,
that is in and of itself
like,
a very sad
bro,
statement.
You're supposed to sleep at least, doctors have told me, at least 8 hours a day, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I know.
Yeah. My doctor actually said, like, when I was getting, like, all my back stuff checked out a couple months ago, they were like, so what are your daily routines? And they were like, do you exercise? Do you smoke? Do you do this? Do you do that? And then when they asked me about the sleep question, my dad was with me when I was doing it. So I was like, 6 hours on average. And the doctor and my dad, their eyes just lit up. They were like, huh? And I was like, I try to sleep more, but, like, on average, I just don't get that. And they were like, dude, for a kid your age, 8 hours is, like, the minimum.
Yeah.
And I was like, for a kid my age in college, that itself is a
2
dream.
2 hours is a minimum.
That itself is a dream.
2 hours is the maximum.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, if I went and told my doctor how much I sleep and then add on my sleep problems, they'd probably have a heart attack.
Dude, you know what the worst thing about, like, going to any, like, doctor thing is? When you go to the dentist and they ask you if you floss. Okay, if you're out there and you floss like a normal human being, congrats to you. But 99% of humanity does not floss like that. And I know how disappointed your dentist feels after, like, years of you going to that same dentist, and every single time they're like, so have you flossed yet? You're like,
no, but I brush my teeth.
Even if you say yes, they'll be like, I'm looking at these gums, hun, and that is just cap.
You're just lying at this point.
And
why are you lying?
Either way, you fail.
Yeah.
I feel so bad about it. I've actually started brushing twice a day.
No.
I used to only brush once a day, like, really, like, nicely, but now I do twice, and it makes my breath at least better, like, less. Yeah. What's that word? Not halitosis.
Meiosis.
Something the thing that makes your breath smell bad. And then, and my teeth are also whiter. But one really nice thing that I thought of, like, the second day I did it, is I was like, I won't have to lie to the dentist. When the dentist asks me if I brush twice a day, I won't have to say yes. I can confidently be like, yes, ma'am, I do brush my teeth twice a day.
But nowadays, you can just get, like, Pure Whites or what it's called, like those Invisalign looking things that just make your teeth look a little whiter.
Those they like reset your teeth, but you still can build up the plaque back because of your daily whatever you eat and stuff.
not Invisaligners. What's it called? They're essentially just
whitening
like
strips.
Yeah, whitening strips. It's just like stickers you put on your teeth.
Yeah. But they're not permanent. They're like a super cleaning, but because of your natural bacteria, what you eat, and just everything else in the day, that yellow comes back almost immediately.
I used to have braces as a kid up until like 7th grade, from 4th to 7th, I think. And after I took off my braces, they gave me this little like gel pen looking thing, where right before I put on my retainers, I would have to essentially just like paint my teeth, and it'll help. Like I brush my teeth normally, right? And just right before I go to sleep, I brush my teeth normally, and then I put on that little like weird little clear gel. I wait for a second with like my mouth open, just like it could dry up, and it tasted horrible, by the way.
Yeah.
And then I put in my retainers and I go to sleep. And I was like, "Why do I do that, doctor?" And they go, "It'll help your teeth become more white after your braces." Okay, but make sure not to swallow any of it.
That's so funny.
That's
stuff that I'm putting exactly in my mouth.
I'm putting it in my mouth where my saliva runs and I swallow things.
LOL, GG Chief. No, I don't know how I can help you there.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Put one of those suction straws you have at a dentist in my mouth the whole night? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Those things are so cool.
Those things are... Have you ever seen one, like, as they're using it?
No, I've only seen it from the inside, like, having it used on me. I've never actually looked at it.
Like, if you ever, like, look, like, while they're doing operation, like, just kind of, like, look a little bit, you can see the tube is clear. Mm-hmm. And so you can see, like, that bloody water or whatever, like, go right through. No. And I'm like, cool. That's me, bro. There goes 95% of my DNA.
Ew. The doctors can, like, look at your, like, gunk come out and all that, and the eyes are... Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Sit there and think about that next time you're at a dentist's office.
Dentists are truly the veterans of society. They go through the worst. They have to see you at your lowest when you're not brushing twice a day. They
get gagged
and
sometimes.
They have to help you, and they have to do so much work for you, and at the end of the day, you still don't brush twice a day.
Still.
Oh, man.
Bro, I used to have... My sister used to be working at the dentist office.
Oh, I forgot your sister does teeth stuff.
That I used to go to, and so I would walk in and be like, "Yeah, hi, I'm her brother," and they're like, "Okay, yeah." And so she would be like the assistant, like she would come in, take all the information first, and then like the doctor would come in, and then and she was like, "Bro, you got like 5 cavities." She would say that, right? I was younger, and I was like, "No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, I do." The doctor comes in. She goes, "No, you don't have any cavities." I'm like, I look at my sister and I'm like, "You about to get fired?"
Bro, straight cap.
I was like, "You lying?" And she goes, "Doctor, I was trying to get him to brush his teeth more." I'm like, "Nah, G, you can't lie to me."
They have to trick us into brushing twice a day.
Which is weird
they know that we won't do it.
That whole like year, I'll say a year. That whole year, I was eating normally, like, you know, sweets, savories, whatever, and I didn't get any. And I was barely brushing, and I didn't get any cavities. But the next year, where I was brushing, I got 4 cavities eating the same thing. And I was like,
cavities kind of come out of nowhere. They kind of come out of nowhere. I don't really like me. Luckily, like alhamdulillah, I've never had a cavity. But Danish and Hassan, they've had a few. And my brothers, they've had a few, and I find that very strange because we practically eat the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, pantry, what mom makes, dad makes, everything. So, like, I don't know how that they're... Especially because, like, Hassan now, he doesn't eat too much candy. Yeah. Because he, like, hates sweets now because of how much he ate when he was a kid. So, I don't really know how that we can still be getting cavities.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have no clue. Like, I've never once understood how that works.
Maybe it's also just like if you have a good cleaning system for your mouth, like when you're done eating, how you get rid of all the stuff so it's not hanging on your teeth.
Maybe, yeah. Have you ever had that conversation with your family or your parents where they're trying to scare you into like brushing your teeth, and they're like, "Brahim, if you don't brush your teeth, you're going to need what are those things called?
What?
Your teeth pop out.
Caps.
That's not what they're called.
When
an old person, the teeth fall?
Oh, dentures.
Yeah, they're like, if you don't brush your teeth correctly and floss, you're going to need dentures by the time you're 30.
You know what got me? Like if you remember in Finding Nemo, the girl and the way that they used to do braces, where you have the whole head thing. Bro, that was enough motivation for me to be like, yeah, I'm not about that. Let's not. Who invented that?
I lived life with braces, right? From 4th to 7th grade. 4th grade to 5th grade, all I had were spacers. You know what spacers are?
Yeah.
You just put them in the top of your mouth or the bottom of your mouth. They essentially just space out your jaw, and so the teeth fit correctly when you put in the braces. I had spacers, right, for the first year, and then from 5th to 7th, I had braces, top and bottom. The last tooth, all the way in the back, from top and bottom, has this little open cylinder hole type of thing, and I was like, why is that? I was such a nosy kid. I was like, why is that, doctor? Why is it all of them look like a square, but the last one isn't? He goes, oh, because when you go to sleep at night, you have to put in that big Nemo thing in your mouth. Oh. And I was like,
how do you sleep with that?
And so essentially what it was is you take the metal bar, it fits right into the back holes. You just gotta aim it using the mirror, and then you take the rest of the metal thing that comes out outside of your mouth. You connect it to what looks like a band, and then you stretch that band all the way around the back of your neck, and you re-clip it to the other side of your face. And essentially that's, I guess it's just holding your mouth closed. I don't know what it did, but every now and then the doctor would be like, okay, now move it up a notch. And so you wake up and your mouth feels like someone punched you 6 times because it's so sore from the tightening of those bars. And I'm like, why do I hate myself? The same thing with the spacers. Every 2 weeks, every other week, something like that, you're supposed to crank your spacers, which means your jaw is getting stretched out over the course of the year. Yep. And I'm like,
I remember I had braces and spacers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They tried to accelerate how quickly I needed braces, so it was only 18 months. And I remember every single time they cranked it, I knew for that week I could not eat solid food.
Yeah, 100%.
I would not be able to chew with any force because it would be so painful. You know what? Now every time I floss, my teeth hurt like crazy because all those little gaps when all the food moves out or whatever, all the dirt, the teeth start moving again, right?
Yeah.
And I feel exactly how I felt when I was younger, and I just the cranial headaches and the jaw pain every time I clench my jaws. It hurts so much, man.
What's it called? I remember once, just 1 week, I cranked the spacer and I didn't feel anything. I was like, usually I feel pain or something. I was like,
something is fishy.
I was like, this is weird. So I cranked it again. Still don't feel anything. I cranked it the 3rd time, and then I felt a little tightness in my jaw. I was like, okay, that's good. I feel something. I'm good. So I put it back. I wake up the next day, my mouth hurt like a butt cheek. I didn't. The first
crank, a butt cheek on a stick.
The first crank was enough. You're supposed to do 1 crank or something like that. I don't know how much it was.
And you multiplied it.
I multiplied it by 3, and I was like, "Why am I such an idiot?"
Yeah, you actually are just trying to hurt yourself.
And I told my doctor. He goes,
"Nice.
That's just faster, I guess, for us. Good job. I don't know what to tell you.
You're making it easier on me, so it's not that big of a problem."
But you know what pissed me off is at the end of my braces, treatment and everything, they give the retainers. So I only wear retainers for the bottom half. I still wear them now just because, I don't know, for my bottom teeth, right? The retainers, I put them in, I go to sleep, wake up in the morning, take them out, and I have a tooth on my left side, I think. The tooth is kind of moves back out. And I'm like, isn't that the whole point of my braces? To not do any teeth moving? And so I put in my retainers to take it out the first hour of my day. I look pretty. And then it kind of just shifts a little bit back to where it used to be. And I'm like, what is the point of the braces then? And I told my professor that, not professor, god damn it. I told my doctor that, too much school on my mind, bro. I told my doctor that, and he goes, yeah, that's normal. Is it? He's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, okay, if you say so. And this doctor was the weirdest guy on earth. Every single time he saw me, he goes, wow, you're getting taller. Are you drinking giraffe milk?
Yo, we love some good giraffe
milk. I was like,
milk.
bro, you did not just say that to me.
I just, the worst thing about braces for me was how much I could not, the pain of chomping. Yeah. I remember the first or second week after I got my braces, they did the tightenings or whatever. My mouth got cut from the like whatever metal like things of the wire,
Yeah.
the spacers or whatever. So like there's holes in my cheek. I can still feel them if I put my tongue there.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just scarred, and all of the skin on my cheeks are so rough because of all of the scarring. And I remember that second week that I got my braces. When I came home, I was like, "Ma, I can't eat anything. I literally can't even eat like a strawberry." And she was like, "I got you." So we have this thing called dal, which is like a rice with lentils, right?
Yeah.
And it's already pretty soft, but that's too much still. So what she does is she just puts that in a blender and blends it for me and then hands it to me. And I have to drink rice and the lentils because I couldn't consume it by chewing it because I was just that much in pain.
Bro, honestly, like yogurts and like ice creams and soups during like the first like week or so of like my braces, top tier.
I don't remember. I just remember waking up in agony. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die."
My mouth hurt horribly. Honestly, I lost weight with the braces.
Really?
When I had my braces, I literally just stopped eating. I was like, "This is too much work." I was like, "This is too much work. It hurts so much. I'm gonna stop eating."
Maybe I should just stop completely.
Yeah, maybe I should just not drink water while I'm at it.
That is a good idea, actually. Maybe I should have done that too.
But I was actually really worried when I had my braces because beginning of 7th grade, I took them off. But beginning of 7th grade, I started playing football.
Oh,
so I was like, this is gonna hurt like a butt cheek, bro. And so I started playing football, and I have to like put mouth retainer and go hit some dude across the line.
Yes, sir.
And every now and then, it would like hit my mouth. That my braces would hit my mouth.
Oh.
And so it would just hurt so much, and it would like leave like a big, like how you were saying, like leave a scar in my mouth or my cheek or something like that. I was like, that hurt. And then I also played saxophone.
Oh my god, I was just about to talk about the instrument.
Yeah, and then I have to to play the saxophone. The bottom lip has to go over your bottom half of your teeth or the bottom teeth, and I had braces.
They push down on
the
push face
down
of the
and just
squares, right?
Rip it, bro. You could literally my what's it called? If you ran my tongue, like you feel the scars and indents. It's like when you
let me
drive.
put my tongue in your mouth.
I was honestly trying to say something across. Like I almost said that.
Hey yo.
It feels like you're driving on like speed bumps.
Man, same thing happened to me. I was like second in my class for French horn, and French horn is one of the toughest instruments. But on top of that, you have to put a lot of pressure on the mouthpiece, right? It's like a little like puckered lip formation.
French horn.
I remember my teacher, who was used to giving me like all of the easy A's on the playing tests, the day I got my braces and every day after that, everybody in the class could hear how much worse I sounded. And my professor was just, or my
professor, huh?
my teacher was just like, just let it go. And I would literally bleed like into my instrument because of how much pressure, how much it hurt. So I had to stop. Even though I really wanted to keep. I love French horn. I had to stop in middle school, and I couldn't keep going.
Yeah.
Did your doctor ever tell you like, don't eat gum or like don't eat I never did that.
Ice, chips, gum. I did all.
I did all of that. I felt really bad every time I did it. I was like, I'm not supposed to be having this, aren't I? But then I just kept eating it anyway.
I ate chips once, and one of my wires popped out.
Oh.
And I was like, so this is why they told me not to eat chips. I run to the mirror. I look at it. I'm like, listen, this is I'll do like a $50 fix. Let me just pull my cheek back, and I fixed it. And I fixed it, and I was like, I'm good. And no worry about it. No fix, no $50, no nothing. Went back the next appointment. I was like, no, everything's good.
You know how when you eat like a nice soft sandwich, the bread from the sandwich gets on the back of your front teeth?
I love that.
That same thing would happen because of all the small spots whenever I ate anything bread that was soft. And I always remember picking that out of my braces, and I was like, ew, this is gross.
Did you ever use those, like, the wax stuff they give you?
A little bit. That was more like I did it at the orthodontist, but I never actually, like, went out of my way to do it. They gave me,
like, stacks of just little wax strips. I can put them on my braces. Those are honestly God tier. Those were sent down from God himself when he made wax, and he goes, here, child. Use it.
Protect your cheeks.
Bro, those saved me so much during football season.
Really? They never really worked for me.
For football season, they hurt. Because you just cover like the little braces square, and then you don't feel anything. And it's like, that's how I played saxophone and played football until like the end of my braces, which was like halfway through football season. I was like, I'm killing myself. And then I put on the wax. I was like, that was a lot better. That's way better.
For me, they would just never stick. Like, they would never actually stay on the braces. So then, more times than not, they just pop off, and I just be like, all right, whatever.
That did happen sometimes, but I would full on like engulf the wire or whatever I'm putting it on, and so it's just like it was great. I loved it. It was dope.
I did love talking to my orthodontist though. He was really cool.
Yeah, my guy was
very funny.
As tall as Thomas, and then he was like some Jewish dude. Like always used to make jokes about being a Jew, and he would it would always say, "I drink giraffe milk."
Interesting.
And all the nurses that worked with him were like, "That's a weird joke, but how are you, honey? Welcome back,
doctor." Anyway,
the doctor leaves. She goes, "Okay, let's see what's going on."
So he's like too much, like a little bit of a handful.
A little bit. It's actually like pretty close to where you live. I'll tell you later where he is.
LOL.
I'll tell you later where he is. But I was like,
LOL. I don't want to run into him at the store. He'll say I haven't been drinking enough giraffe milk.
I think his office might have closed. I don't remember. But anyway, he had a. Well, okay, last thing I'm going to talk about. Last thing. What's up with like with dentists and orthodontists having a fish tank in their office? Yeah. I've went to like I don't know if that was a Nemo thing
or Nemo is showing that happens all the time.
I have no clue.
But dude, even mine. In the waiting area there was a thing, and in the back of the one there was also a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because fish don't have traditional teeth. What? So it's like, it's funny for them.
I don't think an orthodontist or a doctor was like, yeah, that's why. Let's do that.
Nah, it's a Megamind joke. It's like 10 layers deep.
I don't know.
It's something that we don't know. They look at the fish every time they send a customer out the door and they're like, haha, I helped them and you don't have teeth.
Maybe? That sounds weird. I don't know. But like,
I'm trying to get into the mind. I'm trying to like method act. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a dentist.
It calms you down or something?
Well, the bubbling noise is like used in offices a lot because like when the patients are sitting in the waiting room, it really helps calm people down.
So let me see those fish, and I'm like, oh, calm.
And also, little kids also like that. Like little kids like seeing the fish, so it's distracting for them.
How do they feed it? Because it's always like
there's like some way to open a cabinet, and then you can see the top, and then you just pop in the food.
Maybe, yeah.
Every fish I ever had, I overfed to death.
Same. Almost.
My logic is those idiots should just know when to stop eating, all right? It's not my fault that they eat themselves to death, all right? I'm just trying to give them that feeling of heaven, okay? They already got taken out of the ocean. Why torture them more?
Thrown in a bag, thrown into a car, car to the tank, and then tank
I'm trying to give them the feeling of Valhalla, right? Sitting in the hall, eating whatever you want, and they're, like, taking advantage of my kindness and killing themselves, and that's not... That's not on me. That's not on me. I can't let that sit on my conscience.
Just get good.
Yeah, just get good. Honestly, fish.
Just get smart.
Why do you gotta swim upside down all the time, man?
Get thumbs.
It's dumb.
What?
Well, we did. We're technically the fish that got thumbs, so we won in the end, didn't we?
Are we? Technically. Do crocodiles have thumbs?
That's an episode for another day.
Do crocodiles have thumbs?
Another day.
Anyway, thank you all.
Thank you guys so much for listening, guys.
I think crocodiles have thumbs.
We'll look into that.
I'll look into that, and then the next episode, I'll be like, hey guys, crocodiles have thumbs. Okay, welcome back, bye. And that's it.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys hopefully in the next one.
Bye. Go watch Spider-Man.
Yeah,
not a sponsor.
We will definitely, and then we'll report back. We'll do.
We'll do
a movie review. We haven't done one of those yet. We can do one of those.
We usually just like trash talk movies.
It's okay.
And see,
especially because it's Spider-Man. I can definitely play both sides.
Yeah, honestly, if we start talking about it, I'll just leave the room. I'll just leave you to talk about Spider-Man because I know you love Spider-Man.
Yes, sir.
I'll be like, hey, I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, we're good. Okay, done, cool.
All right, guys, catch you guys in the flip.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Adios. Chupapi.